So, about Mrs. Netta and Charles, I'm not going to say that third party's name because they've been fired. I just like to say that I am so proud to see that Miss Netta and Mrs. Netta and Charles are still plowing forward very strong. I'm just very proud of them and thankful for them because they're teaching entrepreneurs, they're teaching content creators so much. There's so much we can all learn from them as they go through this ordeal. Mrs. Netta is very vocal, and I feel like she should be very vocal because she's always got so much bullshit to deal with. Like, everybody just wants to be a problem for them. Now, I do believe that she could turn her focus inwardly and continue to put out great content. She's allowing the world to kind of trample her work. And no one's responsible. No one's looking at the world. People are going to look at her. That's her brand, right? So Carlos was a mistake to ever hire. And his behavior right now after he's been fired is very telling. I can only imagine what Mrs. Netta and Charles were dealing with while they were doing business with him. Carlos is not an effective communicator. He's highly emotional, very unprofessional, inappropriate. Integral is not one of his attributes, okay? He shouldn't be speaking about anything right now that happened between him and his client. And anyone who goes forward after seeing his behavior, hiring him as a manager, is foolish. Who wants a manager that if things go wrong in business? Yes, I'm outside, I'm in nature. That's what we're doing. Who wants a manager that's going to go out and tell all your business in the event things don't go wrong? And if you've ever been in any kind of business, we all know things always go wrong in business. And he's just out here being very inappropriate, very disrespectful. He's just all over the place. There's no boundaries. There's no limits. He's just doing too much. I applaud Mrs. Netta and Charles for even hiring a manager. They're from Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're putting Alabama on the map. Mrs. Netta been going for years, running her pages herself, making her content herself, making money herself. She's been doing fabulous. And it's hard. Most entrepreneurs, you don't have anybody in your ear. Most of the time, entrepreneurs are out here entrepreneuring all on their own. Entrepreneurs is entrepreneur. You are here working by yourself. Very few times do entrepreneurs out here entrepreneuring together. So that she had the courage to invest in herself. She had the faith to believe in herself, and she took a chance, and she even hired a manager in the first place. I just celebrate her for doing that, because a lot of people can't do it. Most people don't believe. It's several reasons why a lot of people don't invest in themselves. People, most of the time, people want everyone else to believe in them before they believe in themselves. But Mrs. Netta is teaching a lot of lessons right now. They know that hiring Carlos was a big mistake. I heard Charles say yesterday it was a learning lesson. And I hope that they sit down, take their time, and really look at their experiences with Carlos. And don't go that way again. Carlos is very inappropriate. Integrity is not one of his characteristics. Who wants to do business with somebody who's gonna go out there and tell all their business? And we know in business things are always shifting, things are always turning, things are always changing. You up one day, you're down the next. This right here change. Oh, I need someone else. Things are always turning. You want someone reputable who is not going to come out here and expose that, you know what I'm saying? You like your third toenail pink at 12 o'clock every day. You don't want somebody telling your business. You want someone who is going to cover you all the time. in the business relationship, and then be integral after the relationship is ended. And Carlos is everything but that. He was definitely a mistake. There's nothing about Carlos there's nothing good about Carlos I can say. I can't give him anything. The only good thing I have behind Carlos is I'm very appreciative that he was foolish enough to go live and to hop on all these platforms and to reveal himself. When you're connected to someone in your personal life or your professional life, that's the best thing they can ever do, is expose who they are. And then if you have some sense, you're going to move quickly to get rid of them. I hope that Mrs. Netta and Charles do take the legal route, because it seems Carlos is talking about everything but the money. Carlos is talking about everything except the money. There's a bird who has a nest in a boot on my porch. And this is the first time I've seen the little birdie, because usually when the bird sees me, it leaves. They're very tiny birds. I thought it was just one bird. Birds, I see two little bitty birds. So if you're going to hang around here, little fellows, you're going to have to get used to the human beings, baby, because you came to us, we didn't come to you. Anyway, Carlos is just a train wreck. Carlos is just a train wreck. Carlos is a train wreck. And I am so tired of Carlos bothering them. I am tired of people bothering Mrs. Netta and Charles. I am tired of hearing people talk about Mrs. Netta's bumps on her face. I'm tired of people messing with them. I am so tired of people messing with them. People just want to get paid off of them. But stop bothering them people. And Mrs. Netta is not ugly. It's not what people say about you. It's what you answer to. And I don't care what anybody has to say about Mrs. Netta. I hope Mrs. Netta knows that she's not ugly for herself. But sometimes she will. Sometimes she will. She'll say something. I know I'm ugly and my face bumpy, and because y'all keep telling me that. That is so frustrating to my soul. And this world's so full of hell. This world can be so cruel. We always say children are honest and children are mean. No, it's the dumbass adults that's raising them. You know what I'm saying? You find a dumb child, follow it home, and a dumbass parent's going to open the door. People get on my nerves. And the people who are bullying Mrs. Netta, it is so annoying, because why? What are people gaining from mistreating this lady? What are you gaining? I mean, yeah, and she sees on the positive side that, you know what I'm saying, people are helping her make her money. But baby doll, look what you're going through while you're making this money. But when you open your life up on social media, you know what I'm saying, that's what you do. You opening yourself up, and you have to deal with whatever comes your way. But my professional opinion is that Mrs. Netta, to the best of her ability, ignore the disrespectful comments, the bullying, just annoy, because people can't fight by themselves. Most people aren't going to fight by themselves. And so my opinion is that I would like to see her ignore negative comments and move on with her life, move on with her business, move on with her content. And what's frustrating for me is you can have 100 people show up in a live, on a post, on a video, showing love and supporting these content creators. But most content creators focus on the one or the two negative comments. Like, that's you'll ignore 100, 1,000 people who love you, taking their time to support you, right? You just ignore the people who loving you. Most content creators do that. They ignore the people who show up showing love. They ignore the people who are showing up to show love. And they focus on the one or two or three that's negative. I don't know if that's human behavior, low self-esteem. I mean, it's not good business. Okay, so the Bible says without logs, the fire is going to go out. So that's kind of like just common sense. Anybody who knows about a fire, like I'm talking about real life fire, a fire is going to go out. The only way a fire is going to keep going is if you keep giving it substance. The only way a fire can keep burning is if you continue to give it substance. I wish they would stop putting logs in the fire because that this particular fire is not to their benefit. It's not to their benefit. Love on their creators that's showing love. Support the people who are supporting you. Then people call me ugly. I am not acknowledging that mess. So that's my commentary. These are my thoughts on Mrs. Netta and Charles. And Carlos need to go sit down somewhere and focus on his family. I'll see y'all soon.